Hello and welcome to SoCalCollegeSports.com's coverage of Golden West College football today. The Rustlers open their season with a non-conference matchup against the Bakersfield College Renegades. In a new season, storylines abound with both teams seeing significant turnover, as one might expect. There will be a lot of new faces on both sides, and that includes a pair of freshman quarterbacks who will begin their college careers here today. But more than that, we'll continue to see the evolution of two programs. Our Todd Littlejohn starts his third season at the helm at Bakersfield College. They improved from 2 to 4 wins a year ago and will look to take another step forward and perhaps get into the bowl picture here in 2023. Meanwhile, for Golden West College, after 20 wins over the last 2 years, the Rustlers have solidified themselves as a postseason mainstay in the SCFA. But thus far, that elusive SCFA championship has escaped them. Is this the year that final hurdle will be cleared by Golden West College in this power-packed SCFA? Time will tell, but the journey starts here today. I am Jeff Stoynoff, joined by Mike Cepeda. And Michael, two teams that come in here both in a positive direction. Golden West over the last couple of years, they've been about as good as it gets, but it only goes to show just how tough it is in the SCFA. 2 years ago, they were just a yard away from the SCFA championship, but can they get over that final hurdle? They've got, again, a few teams to contend with here in the SCFA.
Yeah, there's hump day, they have hump season, and can Golden West, ascend the mountaintop here in the South and maybe make their way up to the championship game for the state in the 3C2A. Big test early on because Bakersfield is the type of program, there is a lot of local talent up there, and they recruit pretty well. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen week one. What's your quarterback situation going to look like? This is not a cupcake team similar to what we saw last year. I believe it was OCC in the opener in a crossover game. They've done away with that, and they're going to be tested right out of the gate.
Yeah, Bakersfield College will go with freshman quarterback Carson Woods, and you think, boy, that's about as tough an assignment as you can ask a young quarterback to do, to come here to Golden West and take on a Rustler defense under Coach Nick Mitchell. But Carson Woods has some pedigree. He is a state champion out of Liberty High School a year ago, so he comes in with an awful lot of talent as well. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, get you going, get you set up for kickoff here from Huntington Beach. It's Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we welcome you back to Huntington Beach, California for Golden West College football and the heat wave of recent weeks. Has tapered off just in time to get the season underway. Game time temperature of 73 degrees, an overcast afternoon. Perfect football weather as we get things going with the Rustlers and the Renegades. Back deep for Golden West to receive the kickoff, Tanner Crandall and Dasani McIntosh. Teed up and ready to go. The Rustlers in the home green jerseys. The Renegades in the road whites. And the kick away. It'll be McIntosh from the 15 out to the 25. A little move at the 30. Running room for McIntosh out near midfield. Brought down just shy of the 45. That's a return of 29 yards in very good field position for Golden West College. And we will see freshman quarterback Parker Awad, who figures to get the start here today, though we expect to see 3 quarterbacks before it's all said and done. They'll come out with 3 wide receivers to the near side. Awad with sophomore Jayshawn Pete in the pistol formation. For this 1st and 10 play, they spotted at the 43. Pete straight ahead for a gain of a couple. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Pete, a returning sophomore who averaged 5 yards a carry on 63 carries a season ago. And Nick Mitchell effusive in his praise of Jayshawn Pete going back a year ago. They will empty the backfield on a 2nd and 8. Awad looks over the Renegade defense, 3-man rush, has time, guns on the far side, I should say, and it's nearly picked off. Zuniga had a play on that ball, and the Rustlers escape and will maintain possession as Zuniga broke in front and nearly had the pick. It brings up an early 3rd and long. Talking about Awad, the freshman who gets the nod here today for the Rustlers, and Nick Mitchell, I'll tell you, the amount of ways he had to call Parker Awad intelligent on the field. He had to have a thesaurus next to him when we were talking on the phone. And very impressed with Awad's head for the game, his ability to manage this offense. He'll take a shot downfield looking for True Tanner, I should say for Caleb Docknall, who had a step, but it's just overthrown. So they take a shot downfield, but it's a 3 and out for the game for the Rustlers to manage this offense. He'll take a shot downfield looking for, and sorry, we had the audio up, it looks like, as we were showing the replay. And, well, Awad, if nothing else, shows the arm as he got it over Docknall, who had a step, but they can't connect. And we will see the punting unit for the Rustlers. That'll bring on Andrew Guzman, sophomore, El Moderna High School. Gets the kick away. This one taken at the 15 and around the edge and out near the 30-yard line. So a good return. That was D'Antonio Hackworth who got it all the way. Well, let's see where they spot it. They're going to spot it at the 33. So that's an 18-yard return after a punt of 40 yards for Guzman. And we'll get our first look at Carson Woods, the freshman out of Liberty High School for the Renegades. They come out with 2 wide receivers to the right. Jordan Norwood in the backfield and movement on the offensive line. It looks like actually they're going with Jalen Hankins to get the start. We'll see both the freshman Hankins and the sophomore Jordan Norwood here today for the Renegades, but a false start penalty will back them up 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Number 2, Carson Woods.
So a 1st and 15. Mentioned at the top in our brief conversation that Woods comes in with an awful lot of pedigree out of Liberty High School, a very successful program and a state champion a year ago. But I don't know if you could draw a tougher assignment for your first start. Pump fake and a throw, and he finds Leach in traffic out to the 37-yard line. So Woods connects on his first pass, gets it out to the 37 and creates a more manageable 2nd down and 6. 9 yards on the pickup. Hankins remains in the backfield. Now they'll move both receivers to the left for the 2nd and 6 play. Rustlers coming on the blitz, and a high snap over the head of Woods. Woods had it momentarily. Now he lost it. It's still loose into the end zone where it's recovered by Kentrell Omar. The Rustlers going to score a defensive touchdown on their first series. Not even a minute and a half in, disaster strikes for the Renegades on a high snap that just kept on going. We'll give you a couple of looks at the replay, and this went from a big loss all the way back to an eventual touchdown, and an opportunistic Rustler defense in recent years strikes early here in the 2023 opener as the curse of that oblong football. Nobody could get a handle on it, and eventually it ends up in the Renegade end zone where Kentrell Omar falls on it. Extra point up and good, and Golden West 13:38 remaining in the first quarter, and it's the Rustlers with the 7-0 lead here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Welcome back to Golden West College and a 7-0 lead for the Rustlers. And when we spoke with our Todd Littlejohn this week, talked about what they need here in this matchup, especially from a freshman QB, and that is to take care of the football. First thing he talked about, cannot afford turnovers. That certainly can't be placed at the feet of Carson Woods, as it was a high snap up over his head that led ultimately to the defensive touchdown, but it's exactly how you don't want to start if you're Bakersfield, digging themselves a hole here early. 13:32 remaining in the first quarter, and they'll go back to work after the return, and they'll start from their own 26-yard line. And it looks as though we have our first flag, or I should say our second flag. We did have a false start for Bakersfield, but our referee today, Brian Mills. So the penalty going to go against Golden West, and it will spot the ball. Now they'll put it at the 24. And we'll see Carson Woods and the Renegade offense again. Jalen Hankins, the freshman, comes out in the backfield. Dominique D'Amato. Makai Smith out to the left. They overload the far side. Pistol formation for this 1st and 10 play. Rustlers coming on the blitz. Quick throw to Smith, who's hit at the line. No gain on the play. Now some extracurriculars after the play, but no flags down. And it is so very tough to go east-west against this Rustler defense. They're so quick to the football. And again, not much chance for Smith. They try to set up the short throw. No gain. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. And they'll split out. Receivers right and left. They go to Hankins on the ground. Off tackle on the right side. Slips out of one tackle. Falls forward for a gain of a couple. brought down by sophomore Jordan Palomino. Palomino, one of two sophomore linebackers for this Rustler defense, along with Harrison Koffel. And it's going to be a very strong defense at every position, but led by a very talented but also experienced linebacker core. Third down, do have a player down for Golden West. Let's step aside for a brief injury timeout here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. The Rustlers with the 7-0 lead early. Look, I believe it was Nick Mendez, outside linebacker, up on his feet and walking off. So, at least preliminarily, a good sign. Brings up a 3rd down and 8 from the Bakersfield 26. And the Rustlers showing blitz. They send Leach in motion. Now they drop off quick. Throw to Leach. Looking for a block. Weaves his way forward and takes a big hit shy of the 30 by... It was Marquise Brown-Leonard who lined up Leach and brought the lumber. Good job by Leach to hold on to the football. A gain of about 5 will bring up 4th down. And the Renegades will bring on the punting unit. Marquise Brown-Leonard, an interesting story for those that might remember for Golden West as a freshman. Back in 2021, Brown-Leonard pressed into action in the championship matchup against Riverside at the safety spot. The Rustlers battling some injuries entering that most important game, and even now Nick Mitchell talking about that game, just so impressed with the play of Marquise Brown in that game. Saying in all likelihood he might have been the defensive MVP. Just came up huge in that game that proved to be a heartbreaker for the Rustlers as they fell 27-23 to Riverside in that SCFA championship, coming just a yard away from punching their ticket to the 3C 2A championship game, but couldn't get by the Tigers. But Marquise Brown-Leonard, as a freshman, played a big game coming off the bench. That's going to be whistled dead and ruled incomplete. Looking for Akechi coming out of the backfield. Bring up a 2nd down and 10. Well, Carson Woods is 3 for 3 early for just 14 yards, but nonetheless, Awad on the other side for Golden West. Misfired on his first 3 attempts as he faces a 2nd and 10. With Ralph Akechi in the backfield. They fake to Akechi. It's Awad on the keeper. Able to slip one tackle before Chase Gratt brings him down. Shy of the 35. Well shy of the 35. They'll place at the 32. Not much of a spot for Awad. And it brings up a 3rd down and 8. Akechi remains in the backfield, 4 wide receiver set for Golden West. Snap to Awad, good protection. Awad still looking, going to take another shot downfield, has a man, and completes inside the 20, down to the 13. finding Dasani McIntosh. And that was another very good throw on a deep ball from Awad. And again, Nick Mitchell wanted to talk about how impressed he's been with how smart Awad is learning this offense, earning the chance to get the first look here today. But that was another very good throw on a deep ball, finding McIntosh for a big gain. They fake go back to McIntosh, who's brought down by Wattenberger. And that's going to be a loss on the play of a yard. Bring up a 2nd down and 11. So Awad finds McIntosh for 55 yards. The Rustlers are into the red zone. Lost a couple on that play. Brings up a 2nd down and 12 as McIntosh will stay on for Golden West. Noah Burdick solo to the left. Akechi running left, has some room. Hit at the 5 and forced out of bounds there. But a good push, I should say, on the left side. Seven-yard run for Akechi brings up a 3rd down and 3. Good push on the left side. Sophomores Trent Light and Preston Johnson back on that offensive line. And it looked like that was Ben Falatoy over there with Trent Light. And they got the good push, created the running room, 3rd and 3. Awad standing in, still looking. Now flushed from the pocket, under pressure from Bowers, and has to just get rid of it. Logan Bowers, the sophomore middle linebacker, unquestionably the leader of this Renegade defense. And the Rustlers may well remember him from their matchup a year ago. A Golden West victory up at Bakersfield, but it was Bowers who finished with 19 tackles, 12 of them solo in the Golden West win. And he was closing in quickly on Awad, forces the incompletion. And the Rustlers will try for a field goal. This attempt from 24 yards out comes from Jad Offman. And Offman's kick is up and good. The Rustlers on the big play. Awad to McIntosh. Convert for 3 with 9:06 remaining in the first quarter. Golden West pushes the lead to 10-0. It's Rustler football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Daylon Leach, Jeremiah Teague back to receive the kick from Jad Offman. Golden West with an early 10-0 lead. And this one out of the back of the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and the Renegades will begin their 3rd possession. Just about 6 minutes in. Still looking for their first down. In fact, with the exception of the big play to Dasani McIntosh, both offenses really struggling to do much early on here today. Woods back on. And talking with Todd Littlejohn, did mention both Carson Woods and sophomore Joseph Campbell, who saw significant action a year ago as the starter, and much as is the case with Golden West, where we expect to see 3 quarterbacks before it's all said and done, the expectation is that pretty much no matter what happens here today, there's a good chance that we'll see Joseph Campbell for a stretch as well for Bakersfield. 1-yard gain for Hankins. 2nd and 9. Woods in all kinds of trouble and just has to get rid of it. Brings up a quick 3rd and 9. He had Arturo Terrazas in the area. And Woods getting all kinds of pressure. Look like Daniel Viramontes on that defensive line. The Rustlers able to so often create pressure without blitzing the quarterback. 3rd down and long for Bakersfield.
3rd down and 8 at the 27.
They'll call it 3rd and 8. Palomino coming on the blitz. Woods flush from the pocket, completes to Leach. Again, short of the 1st down. Jakari Embry able to bring down Leach a couple of yards shy. That's a gain of 6, and it brings up a 4th down and 2, and another 3 and out for Bakersfield. Noah Estrada back in punt formation. Noah Burdick awaits the kick at his own 35-yard line. Low line drive from Estrada. Burdick will make the fair catch at the 36. They'll spot it at the 37. Short kick for Estrada and good field position for Golden West midway through the 1st quarter. Opening weekend here in the 3C2A. Games going on all over the state. In fact, it got going last night with 3 games. But much of the slate here today. And, of course, a busy day on SoCal College Sports. We will be bringing you action from College of the Canyons and Saddleback later tonight. So 2 more games coming. Miscommunication for Siri. Hard to say if that was planned or not, but he calmly completes the pass, finding Jonathan Smith over on the far side for a gain of about 5. And it looks to me, yeah, like Siri and Libeer not on the same page. So a change at quarterback and at running back for Golden West. And Siri, one of the 3 quarterbacks that does come in with some experience, initially recruited by Riverside, was on his way to Golden West, or so they thought a year ago. An interesting story. The fake to Libeer and the throw over the middle and complete back to Smith for a 1st down. Brought down by Richburg, but not before Smith gets into Bakersfield territory at the 41, a gain of 16 and a fresh set of downs. When we talked with Nick Mitchell, said that Siri initially headed to Riverside. That really wasn't a fit. Thought he was going to maybe make his way here. Libeer threw a good hole into the Renegades secondary and has another 1st down to the 28, a gain of 13. The Rustlers moving the football with sophomore Braden Siri at the controls. But a last-second decision. Siri makes the move, played at Ventura a year ago, where he started 3 games as a freshman, but then wanted to make a change here for his sophomore season and made his way down here to Golden West College. Libeer running right, able to get the corner, and down to the 24. Smith on the stop for Bakersfield. Julian Smith, the freshman safety. They'll spot it at the 25. That's a gain of just 3, and a 2nd down and 7 as we wind under 6 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter. Four wide receivers for the Rustlers on a 2nd and 7. Fake to Libeer over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Crandall. Over the middle, working against Julian Smith. And a 3rd and 7 for Golden West from the Bakersfield 25. Golden West 1 of 3 on 3rd down so far here today. Libeer remains in the backfield. Receivers left and right. Renegades come on the blitz. Good protection. Docknall with the reception and the first down. Tripped up by Julian Smith, but not before Docknall, the returning sophomore, gains 10 yards and earns a fresh set of downs for the Rustlers at the Bakersfield 15. Solid drive for Golden West that started at their own 37. Looking to extend on this 10-point lead. Snap to Siri. Three-man rush has time. Looking in the corner, Docknall got the feet down for the touchdown. Siri with a 15-yard strike to Docknall, and the Rustlers push the lead to 16-0. It's a good job as you watch the replay. Docknall able to bring that pass in, get the feet down. 63-yard drive for the Rustlers, and Siri most impressive on his first drive. Leads the Rustlers to the touchdown as Offman adds the extra point. 5:05 remaining in the first quarter. It's all Golden West early. They lead at 17-0 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. .05 remaining in the first quarter. And the Rustlers off to the fast start, have the 17-0 lead. Couple of big plays early. A big play with the defensive touchdown. As the Renegades trouble with the snap on their third play from scrimmage. Big hole on the near side and a good return out to midfield and beyond into Rustler territory. And that was Dalen Leach getting it all the way to the Golden West 45, so perhaps something to get excited about if you're a Renegade fan trying to get something going. But the trouble started early, and the Rustlers struck with the big play on defense, but then the big completion leads to a field goal, and then the steady hand of Braden Siri leading the Rustlers down the field, finding Caleb Docknall. So the Rustlers doing it in all phases of the game early. And they have the 17-0 lead, but now a short field for the Renegades. Woods back on. Norwood able to run out of a tackle in the backfield and turn a loss into a gain of about 3. Palomino did eventually wrap him up. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. Dion Lamadia hobbling off after that play, and they'll take a look at him. 2nd down and 7. Leach along with Xavier Marshall to the near side, pistol formation. Back to Norwood. The sophomore lowers the shoulder, follows his left guard down to the 38. We'll bring up a 3rd and short, a 3rd and 3. Caden Perez, Adam Robles on the left side of that offensive line for the Renegades. Returning sophomores. And you got to believe early, even from the 38, that this is going to be 4-down territory for the Renegades on a 3rd and 3. Back to Norwood. On the inside, appears to have first down yardage down to the 34. So 3 carries for Norwood, and the first down today for Bakersfield. Austin Gerbich with the stop for Golden West. Gerbich, an interesting case, saw a significant time a year ago as a freshman and figured to be one of the mainstays on the defensive line, but Nick Mitchell, but not so fast. An awful lot of talent coming in as well for Golden West, and making the point that it's a continuing effort to earn time on the playing field. This is a deep and talented defense for Golden West. But Gerbich there with the stop. Short completion on first down. Very short. Pretty much no gain, and a second down and 10. It was Carson Cota, freshman tight end, with the reception. But no yardage on the play and a second down and 10. Well, when these two teams met a year ago, the Renegades only had one play in the game where they gained more than 15 yards. Such is the difficulty. Really getting any kind of big play against Golden West. And they're being very conservative early. Quick pitch and not fooled as Marshall twists his way forward for perhaps a yard. Palomino with the tackle, and a third down and 9 from the 34. And again, this would be a field goal attempt of better than 50 yards. So the Renegades might be looking at 2 plays here once again to try and pick up the first down. Let's see what they do with Norwood in the backfield to the right of Woods. And some movement and whistles come in. And it's a false start, and 3rd and 9 becomes 3rd and 14. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And this is where the Rustlers seem to really challenge opposing offenses. They're going to crowd the line and come after the freshman Carson Woods. And so far you've seen the Renegades try and beat that with some short throws, but the Rustlers so quick to the football, such a sure tackling team. Renegades have had difficulty making much out of those plays. Another quick throw and a completion. Marshall looking for blockers to his left, still on his feet, but forced out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards brings up a 4th down and about 7. Let's see where they eventually spot it. Good individual effort from Marshall to try and find a lane. Did get as far as the 31. So this would be a 48-yard field goal attempt should they try it. There is some wind here today. More along the lines of a light but steady breeze. In any event, the offense will remain on the field, and the Renegades will line up to go for it on 4th and 7. Golden West going to take their first time out with 43 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Rustlers on top 17-0. It's Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fourth and 7 for Bakersfield from the Golden West 31. Jalen Hankins returns in the backfield. Carson Woods looks over the defense. Cota in motion. Snap to Woods, designed roll, completes to Cota, turns upfield, hit and dropped short of the first down. Wyatt Potter, Jakari Embry there quickly. Cota held to 3 yards on a 4th and 7. And the football goes back to the Rustlers at their own 28-yard line. So the defense holds. After the big return by Leach, the Renegades able to pick up a first down, but the drive stalls. And with 36 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter, the Rustlers have it back, leading it big. 17-0. And we'll see our third quarterback already as freshman Luther Richardson out of Nashville, Tennessee, will come on for his first play on the designed roll, throws and completes on the far side for a gain of about 5. Jaquan Lamb with the stop. True Tanner with the reception. Clock continues to move under 20 seconds. Well, the Rustlers look to run another play.
4-yard gain on the pass play, second down.
4-yard gain brings up a 2nd down and 6. Richardson is going to run one more play. Deep drop, tries to set up the screen. Little move by Tanner. And Tanner still on his feet, has the first down, finally stood up by Richburg at the 45, but not before he picks up 13 yards and a first down on the final play of the first quarter. Through 1, Golden West on top of Bakersfield 17-0.
13-yard gain on the play.
And indeed, let's step aside very quickly, come back for the second quarter here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Back-to-back receptions for True Tanner. Interestingly, Crandall, Burdick, and Tanner all coming out of Arizona from the same high school. Goes back to the story of Malachi Martinez and Cross Antonacci from a year ago, where players followed each other coming here to Golden West. The end around to Crandall, and Crandall run out of bounds after a gain of a yard. Brings up a 2nd down and 9, and there's nothing much to the story beyond that. One of the players made the decision to come, and then a couple of more players out of the same program. Just thinking that sounds like a good idea. Following it there, and Nick Mitchell very pleased and excited about the depth at that wide receiver position with Burdick and Tanner Crandall and True Tanner all coming into the program to an already very deep wide receiver position, with a couple of players returning. Liebeer runs into a wall, no gain on the play, stood up and driven back. It was Joshua Macon that finished him off.
Also a gain of 1, third down.
3rd down and long. Call it a long 8 for Golden West after Liebeer picks up a yard. Golden West 2 of 4 on 3rd down. They have it at their own 47. 4-man rush. Richardson fires over the middle, incomplete. A little bit offline.
Pass is incomplete. 4th down.
He was looking for Tyler Hampton. Yet another receiver. Sophomore. Hampton out of Edison High School. Local product. And this time it's the Rustler drive that stalls. They're on 47, and we'll see the punting unit.
Andrew Guzman in punt formation.
Guzman back deep. Meanwhile, waiting to receive the kick, D'Antonio Hackworth. Hackworth takes it to 15, spins out of a tackle, now has some running room. Twists his way forward, out past the 35 to the 38. Good return from D'Antonio Hackworth. And the Renegades come away with very good field position. There is a flag down. And this might be coming back. It was a good individual effort by Hackworth, who appeared to be pretty well bottled up upon making the catch. But a block in the back against Bakersfield is going to erase all of that work. This will be marked off from the spot of the foul. And instead, the Renegades will start deep in their own territory. Not what you want to do against the Rustler defense. But they'll start from their own 10. So they'll come out with Woods at the controls, Norwood in the backfield. Jordan Norwood, returning sophomore, at the running back position in the deep eye, and Norwood gets the call. Straight ahead,
The handoff is to Jordan Norwood.
pushing the pile for a gain of perhaps 3. They'll spot at the 17, or I should say at the 12.
2 on the play.
So they give Norwood 2 yards. And a second down and 8. Norwood a season ago. 258 yards on the ground, 3.6 yards a carry.
2nd and 8.
And the team as a whole struggled on the ground. The Renegades averaging a little under 3 yards a carry as a team. No doubt looking to improve that number, but they'll have a hard time doing that here today. In fact, in the matchup a year ago, Bakersfield had just 14 yards rushing on 29 carries. And that number, for those that follow the Rustlers, is not exactly out of line from what you generally see when teams try to run the ball against Golden West. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside. 12:50 to go in the first half. Golden West on top, 17-0. Second down and 8 for the Renegades from their own 12-yard line. Woods, quick throw again over the middle, completes. Now past the 15, and then a swarm of green jerseys to the football. Leach with another reception. He's got 4 catches early.
6-yard gain on the play. 3rd down.
It's a gain of 6. And it brings up a critical 3rd down and 2. Woods continues to impress with his accuracy, 9 of 10, but just 37 yards. And keeping the throw short against this Rustler defense that is so quick. I don't want to put too much on the plate of young Carson Woods. Faces a 3rd and 2. Quick snap. Pump fake. Woods in some trouble in the backfield. Going to be hit and sacked.
Quarterback is sacked. 3-yard loss.
Woods brought down for a loss of 3. Hard to say who got there first. It was a couple of Rustler players who were quickly back there. And I want to say that I saw Kentrell Omar, number 4, back there quickly, but there were a couple of players
Punt formation.
in the backfield. And hard to say if the Renegades were setting up a bigger play there. It looked like Woods tried to go, I should say, to a pump fake, but you just don't have that kind of time. And he was quickly swarmed under. Fair catch signaled for and made by Burdick at the Bakersfield 43. That's a kick of 28 yards, no return. Call it 29 because they'll spot it at the 44. But very good field position for Golden West as the Rustler defense does its job, forcing the quick 3 and out. And they get the short kick and now the short field. Jay-Sean Pete will return in the backfield. First play for Pete since the opening series, with Richardson continuing at quarterback. Receivers left and right. 1st and 10 from the Bakersfield 44. Pete, good hole. Slips a tackle at the 40, falls forward near first down yardage. They'll give Pete 10 yards and the first down. Good job up front. Chris Garcia, one of the returners on that Golden West offensive line. Josiah Laban, and if that name sounds familiar, the younger brother of linebacker Jonah Laban here a year ago. Also in the fold at the center spot. Quick throw and a completion to McIntosh on the far side. Richburg there quickly to bring down McIntosh after a 3-yard gain. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. Rustlers making their way into field goal range. They're at the Bakersfield 31, facing a 2nd and 7. Back to Pete, tries to cut it back. Gratt chasing that play down from behind. Limits Pete to a gain of 2, brings up a 3rd down and 5. Gratt, one of the first names mentioned on that defensive line by Todd Littlejohn, saying he spearheads this defensive line, and they expect big things from Gratt. Very talented, athletic defensive lineman. You saw some of the speed there, chasing that play down as Pete tried to cut it back. But Gratt there and brings down Pete after a gain of a couple. 3rd and 5. Good move by Pete to his right and has the first down. That's a play that's pretty well bottled up initially, but Pete showing good vision, able to cut to his right and get the first down. Donovan Foster eventually with the stop, but that's a lot about Jay-Sean Pete. 7-yard run on a 3rd and 5 and a first down for Golden West. Richardson with the snap. Inside handoff, all kinds of room. Pete breaks a tackle at the 10. He's inside the 5. Jay-Sean Pete through another good hole. And then some yardage after contact as Richardson waits that split second on the delayed handoff. Quick snap, and they try to run a play down at the goal line. Don't appear to be in. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and goal. Richardson tried on the keeper.
1-yard gain, 2nd and goal.
Did pick up a yard, and it brings up a 2nd down and goal from the Bakersfield 1, and Richardson quickly back under center. Plenty of time on the play clock. Richardson, a little hesitation this time, now tries to fall forward. No signal yet, he's in. So Richardson able to move the pile just enough and get in on the 1-yard touchdown run. Golden West extends on the lead as they go 44 yards. A lot of it courtesy of good work by Jay-Sean Pete and that Golden West offensive line, and then Richardson does the rest. Back-to-back sneaks, and eventually he gets in from a yard out. 8:38 remaining in the first half. Offman's extra point is good. Golden West with a 24-0 lead. It's Rustler football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Midway through the second quarter. And Golden West takes advantage of the short field. 1-yard touchdown run from freshman quarterback Luther Richardson. And now each of the 3 quarterbacks for Golden West has led a scoring drive for the Rustlers. Throw in a touchdown for the defense. And you've got the 24-0 lead for Golden West. Well, I mentioned at the top that Renegades went from 2 wins in their opening season under head coach Arton Littlejohn, who returns to Bakersfield to become the head coach. They improved to 4 wins a year ago. In fact, midway through October, the Renegades were 4-3, coming off victories over College of the Canyons and Ventura. They finished losing their last 3 to end the season at 4-6, but 2 of those losses were by less than a touchdown. So it's a team that almost made the full return to the bowl picture a year ago, falling just short with a 4-win season. And obviously the hope is to continue to get back to where this program has been for so much of the time. Long and storied history. Bakersfield College football, their last winning season came back in 2018, but this was a team that won a championship back in 2012. An awful lot of success, and want to be moving back in that direction. And they may not have a tougher assignment this year than they're getting in week 1, traveling here to Huntington Beach to take on the Rustlers. And so far, it has been all Golden West. D'Amato with the reception out to the 34. Bring up a second down. Excuse me, they'll spot it at the 29, where it'll be second down and 5. 5-yard gain. Let's correct that very quickly. It's 3rd and 2. Another high snap. Woods had his hands on it. It's still loose. And it looked like Bakersfield did recover at the 33, a yard shy of the first down. So the 3rd and 2 comes up short. And Woods with a tremendously athletic play to keep another high snap in front of him. Managed to knock it down, and this time the Renegades at least keep the football, and they can kick it away, but some trouble in that shotgun formation for Bakersfield here in week 1. Already seen it with disastrous results early on. And this one with the high snap leading to the Rustler defensive touchdown. That time they avert total disaster but miss out on a 3rd down opportunity, and they'll have to kick it away when we return. 7:10 remaining in the second quarter. Golden West on top, 24-0. Fourth down, and the punting unit, nope, they're going to come back and line up to go for it from their own 33-yard line. And to file this one under why not, I suppose, down 24-0. Campbell on the keeper tries to pick his way forward and initially appears to have enough. Well, that is a more than gutsy call on 4th down, but down 24 points. First-year offensive coordinator Seth Damron over from Allen Hancock College. And he makes the call, showing some faith in this offense against a very stout Rustler defense. Rolls the dice on a 4th and 1, and Campbell, the sophomore, comes on the keeper to move the chains. Down to 3 on the play clock. Campbell, straight drop, throws off the back foot, hanging in the air, and that one incomplete. That's a dangerous throw. Now flags come in the secondary. That was Hercules Ortega on the coverage. They were looking for Arturo Terrazas. And the pass incomplete, but let's see what the call is. 2 flags come in late in the play in the defensive backfield. And this one going to go against Golden West. Yeah, and it's going to go against Ortega. Not exactly how you want your first mention of your name to go for Hercules Ortega on that play, but working one-on-one against Terrazas. And picks up the pass interference. So the Renegades with one of their rare shots downfield here in this first half. They look for Terrazas deep over the middle. And it produces the pass interference penalty. And arguably the biggest gain of this first half for Bakersfield out to midfield. They have had a couple of good returns to set themselves up. Campbell with another high snap. With a gain of a couple. Buddy Sagao with the stop for Golden West. And Sagao, another player that warranted mention from Nick Mitchell. Sagao, a defensive end. And I'm talking about Sagao, just marveled at how incredibly explosive and athletic and Buddy Sagao is, and doesn't have the prototype defensive end body. He's a little more short and stout, but you just can't miss him. He's so quick to the football and so explosive. Makes plays on the outside. Terrazas cut down after a gain of 2 yards. Good hit from Terrell Taylor, bringing down Terrazas and bringing up a 3rd down. 3rd and 8 from the 48. But keep an eye for young Buddy Sagao for Golden West. Especially in recent years, have a long list of really spectacular playmakers off the edge. Sagao perhaps the next in line. We shall see. A 3rd and 8 for Bakersfield. Campbell going to take this one himself, and it's going nowhere. And careful on that play. It looked like Christian Patero coming in there late, and that's where you could so easily see a flag as Patero flying to the football, but it was after Campbell had largely been stood up and stopped. And you no doubt like to see the aggressiveness and understand that flying to the football is what defense is all about, but that would have been a costly penalty, no flag down. And instead, the Renegades will have to kick it away. Burdick takes it on a hop and gets it out to the 15, where the Rustlers will take over with 4:26 remaining in the first half.
1st and 10 for Golden West, at their 15.
We've seen a couple of drives for Richardson. Let's see who comes out. Already 3 quarterbacks. And it looks like it's back to the top with Awad coming on.
14, Parker Awad.
For Golden West, Awad so far 2 of 6 for 54 yards. Did have the big hookup with Dasani McIntosh to set up the field goal that gave him a 10-0 lead at the time. Akechi churning his legs, finally brought down by Wattenberger, but not before he picks up 9 yards. Good, hard running from Ralph Akechi.
9-yard gain on the run.
Clock will move down toward 4 minutes to go here in the first half.
2nd and 1.
Golden West facing a 2nd and 1 from their own 24. They'll overload the near side as they work it from left to right. Fake to Akechi. And now Awad pop flies the far side looking for Crandall, who was well covered. Nothing doing on that play. Richburg back deep with a little help from Danny Johnson. That play well defended. And it will bring up a 3rd down and 1. Rustlers quickly get to the line. Akechi running left. A gain of about 3 is good enough to move the chains. Again, following left tackle Trent Light, returning sophomore, on that left side along with Preston Johnson. So Akichi moves the chains for Golden West. Clock continues to move, 3:21 remaining in the second quarter. Deep drop for Awad, under pressure, steps up, guns it on the far side and completes. Finding Crandall into Bakersfield territory, down to the 27 of the Renegades. And that, one of the most impressive moments of this first half for Parker Awad, throwing on the run and finding Crandall for a big gain. They say that Crandall stepped out at the 35. Nonetheless, the Rustlers on the move again as Awad finds Crandall. That is a gain of 38 yards. Akichi running left, tripped up at the 33, a gain of 2. Plenty of time for the Rustlers, who have 2 timeouts remaining as well here in this first half. True Tanner on for Golden West. Along with Colin Payne in the slot. Second down and 8. Awad looking left, good protection, throws deep over the middle, and it is nearly picked off. Johnson had his hands on it. He was looking for Tanner, and Johnson has this ball well in his sights and just dropped it. Excuse me, that was Crandall, the intended receiver. And all of a sudden, it's 3rd and long for the Rustlers. Still pretty well outside field goal range. It would be 50 yards from here. Straight drop, Awad stepping up. Fires over the middle and completes and has the first down. Back to Crandall. One of that trio of receivers out of Gilbert, Arizona, Highland High School. Big catch for Crandall on 3rd and 8, the 9-yard gain, just enough for the first down, keeps the drive alive. 1:33 and counting remaining here in the first half. Awad. Again, good protection, all kinds of time, looking back of the end zone for the touchdown. Back to True Tanner this time. Now a flag comes in very late, likely after the play, as Awad finds Tanner for the touchdown. And Golden West in command here in this first half and looking very sharp here in their 2023 opener. And Awad looked decidedly more settled in that drive after he went the first couple of series. Helps when you get good protection, and he did on that drive, but he stepped up, and that was another strike from Awad, finding Tanner in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Hoffman's extra point is good. 23 yards, Awad to Tanner, and with 1:22 remaining in the first half, Golden West has pushed the lead to 31-0 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Nick Abbott, Jordan Norwood back deep. Awaiting the kickoff. Golden West now leading at 31-0. A most impressive first half for the Rustlers. Short kick. It's going to be taken at the 32. And a little move at the 40 and out to the 46-yard line. Mackay Smith able to set the Renegades up with good field position and 1:15 remaining on the clock. Renegades trying to get on the board. They'll spot it at the 45. Bakersfield with 2 timeouts still remaining here in this first half. Back to Carson Woods. The freshman back in at quarterback. Rustlers come on the blitz. Quick throw over the middle. Leach with another reception and a first down. To the Golden West 44-yard line. They'll spot it at the 43. Renegades want to move quickly. Clock stops, or should at least, long enough to move the chains. Woods. Rainbows the far side. Nearly picked off. And that was Dominique Carter moving over from his safety spot. Had his hands on it, but can't come up with it. 2nd down and 10. Marshall was the intended receiver. Abbott and Leach to the near side. For Bakersfield on 2nd and 10. Woods with good protection. Guns over the middle and completes. Big hit. Patero with the hit on Marshall, who loses his helmet but holds onto the football. 15-yard gain for Marshall. As Patero brought the hit but couldn't knock that football loose under a minute to go. Bakersfield with their deepest penetration into Golden West territory here in this first half. And now the officials will huddle up. Meanwhile, the clock continues to move on the scoreboard, but I can't imagine that that's right. Finally, it stops at 32 seconds, but you've got to believe that the Renegade coaches are going to make note of that. Bakersfield looking for some kind of good news here in this first half, and indeed they will reset the clock to 52 seconds. Trying to get something positive going into halftime. Going back to the matchup a year ago that took place in week 3, and it was a 24-14 score, but might not have been quite that close. The Renegades, with both their touchdowns coming on special teams, punt returns by Christian Thompson. So 2 punt returns. And outside of that, the Renegades a year ago had all kinds of trouble at home getting anything going offensively against this Rustler defense. But the big plays on special teams did tighten the score. So arguably, going back to last year, they're looking for their first points. Woods completes again into the red zone, finding Tomato. Down to the 14-yard line, and it might sound a little odd to say in the midst of a 31-0 first half, but I think you've got to be impressed with Carson Woods here in this first half. Completes in the flat, good move, spins out of a tackle, down inside the 10. Renegades on the move. Jeremiah Teague coming out of the backfield with the reception. Renegades still moving quickly. They've still got 2 timeouts down to 21 seconds. I don't know why you don't take a timeout in this situation, and maybe now they're finally going to take one. But again, Woods coming in, true freshman here, starting at Golden West. And as we've made the point, maybe one of the toughest assignments you can have anywhere in the SCFA. And in the first half, he's 14 of 16 for 89 yards, no interceptions. And I think our Todd Littlejohn would be the first to tell you that Carson Woods has done exactly what they would have hoped and wanted him to do in this first half. Take care of the football, and on this drive, he's been very accurate with some throws downfield. moving the Renegades deep into Golden West territory. And again, it's got to sound odd to say that in a 31-0 game. But Woods certainly has shown well here in this first half. This was a young man that won a high school championship in his senior year at Liberty High School and stays local here at Bakersfield College. And they're not going to like the score here at the half, but Woods has managed the offense well, it would seem, and has a chance here to put some points on the board and get something positive going for Bakersfield as they head into the half. 20 seconds. Second down inside the 10. Quick throw. Catch is made. In for the touchdown. Mackay Smith with the touchdown reception. The Renegades are on the board. Well, make it 15 of 17. And his first touchdown pass in college. As Carson Woods finds Mackay Smith. And that's a nice answer for the Renegades, who are still way behind in this one against a Rustler team that's been a buzzsaw in this first half. But again, you think back to last year, and Renegades not able to put up an offensive touchdown, and they have finally broken through late in the first half on the touchdown pass. 31-7. We'll keep it here for the last 14 seconds. Well, I think it's clear in the first half that the Renegades, anticipating the speed and the aggressiveness of the Rustler defense, trying to get the ball out quickly, trying to maybe use that aggressiveness against Golden West with some of their play calling. And late in the first half, it looked to me that they took the reins off of Carson Woods a little bit. Did a little more attacking of this Golden West defense. And Woods, at least on that drive, did well. But now how much is that a good idea remains to be seen over the long haul. But the Renegades appeared to be more aggressive in the 2-minute drill, going after this Rustler defense, and it led to a touchdown. Taken at the goal line. Now to the 20, 25, 30. Good blocking again on that far side, and the Rustlers will have very good field position on the return by McIntosh. 6 seconds, and they're near midfield. They'll spot it at the 43. That is only going to be time enough to run one play. And at least what tiny bit of drama might have remained on that one play will dissipate with the holding call going against Golden West. So no doubt, after marking that off, the Rustlers should be content to head to the locker room with a 31-7 lead. Time to run one play. By the time they mark off the holding call, the Rustlers will start from their own 10. And you've got to believe we'll see one kneel down, and that'll do it. And indeed, that will wrap up the first half. Halftime from Golden West College and the Rustlers. Their 2023 opener all over Bakersfield. They lead at 31-7. You are watching Rustler football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the second half, and Bakersfield won the toss and deferred. So go back to the touchdown at the close of the first half, and perhaps if there is a chance for the Renegades to start to creep back into this one, it could happen here. They get the ball first. If they can make something happen here, you at least start to get yourself back within sight of Golden West, who carries a 31-7 lead into the second half. Trouble on the kick, but it hops up. And Leach still on his feet, bouncing off tacklers and brought down at the 30. So near disaster for Bakersfield. Outside of the big play that came less than 90 seconds in, it's been a first half largely devoid of any big mistakes. Only one turnover combined between the two teams. It was the big fumble by the Renegades on that opening drive that led to the defensive touchdown for the Rustlers. But after that, no turnovers in the game, relatively low penalties. Just 3 penalties for 20 yards against Bakersfield, 4 for 44 yards for Golden West. So a clean first half in many respects here in the opener for both of these teams. We'll see if that carries over into the second half. The Renegades have the football, trailing 31-7. Woods leads the offense back on for Bakersfield. Designed roll to the right, and that one hangs up in the air. He was looking for Nick Abbott, and the pass incomplete. Abbott well covered on the play. Amir Alamin locked up with Nick Abbott, and a second down and 10 upcoming for the Renegades. Again, the numbers for Woods in the first half. 15 now of 18 for 97 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Briefly spelled by Joseph Campbell, who completed his only pass. Leach, with his 6th catch, breaks a tackle and has the first down out to the 44-yard line. So Dalen Leach, who figures to be the favorite target for Woods, the returning sophomore, and has been so far, his 6th catch of the game is good enough for a first down. It moves the chains to the 45. Well, Woods with 30 minutes of college football under his belt. Let's see if that confidence picks up as they continue. Norwood on the delayed handoff, brought down after a gain of 3 yards. Overall, the Renegades as a team, just 15 yards on the ground in the first half on 13 carries. But astoundingly, that number is an improvement over the matchup between these two teams a year ago. But no matter what the case, it's hard to imagine that the Renegades will have much success moving the football consistently against the Rustlers if they don't continue to commit to that running game, at least keeping the Rustler defense somewhat honest. They pick up 3 yards there. It's a 2nd and 7. Hankins on the sweep, cuts it back. He's over the 45 to the 46, a gain of 3. Will bring up a 3rd down and 4. Marquise Brown moving up from his safety spot had the stop on Jalen Hankins, and a big 3rd and 4 for Bakersfield. Bakersfield 1 of 7 on 3rd down in the game so far. This would be a big one to pick up for the Renegades to keep this momentum. Snap to Woods, looking over the middle and overshoots his target. It's incomplete. He was looking for Dominique D'Amato. And that brings up 4th down at the 46-yard line, and that will bring on the Renegade punting unit. Noah Estrada will kick it away. Noah Burdick waiting back, and about his 10-yard line, this kick will come from the Bakersfield 46. Good snap. Estrada's kick. Taken by Burdick, who is hit immediately back at the 10-yard line. That was a big hit from Donovan Foster. Flying down there in kick coverage. Burdick had no chance, but does a great job to hold on to the football. We have seen a couple of big hits out there, and so far, again, nobody's coughed it up. And that was another big hit on Burdick, who does a good job to hold the football. Nothing on the return after a punt of 44 yards. And Golden West will start from their own 10-yard line. It'll be Braden Seary, who had 1 drive in the first half. And he led the Rustlers down the field for a touchdown, finding Caleb Docknall for a touchdown pass on his lone series at the controls. Drops it short for Pete, who picks his way forward for a gain of about 6, setting up a 2nd down and 4. And again, Siri, unlike Awad and Richardson, comes in with a load more experience. A year in the program at Ventura College that included some starts early in the season. And so far, that experience seems pretty easy to detect. Siri very calm and collected in the pocket in his lone drive in the first half, taking the Rustlers right down the field. Pete on the carry, appears to have enough for a 1st down. We do have a Renegade player down. It's a gain of 5 for Pete. Brief injury timeout from Huntington Beach. You're watching Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jaquan Lamb was the injured Renegade player, but up and walking off on his own power. So figure to see Lamb again before it's all said and done. 1st down for Golden West. Siri fakes, now throws and completes. Crandall with the reception. His 2nd catch today is out to the 29. A gain of 8 brings up a 2nd down and 2. Well, already, Golden West can afford to work methodically. In no particular hurry, leading by 24, and Siri, so far, seems to be just the quarterback to do that. He's been poised and accurate thus far. Pete bouncing it to the outside. Slips a tackler and has enough for the 1st down. Brought down by Bowers, but not before Pete moves the chains. Actually made it all the way out to the 34. A gain of 5 and a fresh set of downs for Golden West. Pete had just 4 carries in the matchup between these two teams a year ago. So already with 7 carries, he's seen more action today. And again, Sam Lybeer, the Compton transfer, Ralph Akichi, figure to be a big part of the fold, but Jayshon Pete should be the #1 back for a lot of this year. And again, Nick Mitchell just can't say enough good things about Jayshon Pete. Very impressed with his vision and instincts as a runner. And he picks up 8 yards there. Good hard running. Leaves a 2nd and short. Rustlers get back to the line quickly. Plenty of time on the play clock, 13. Back to Pete. Cuts it back in the backfield and manages to pick up a yard. Leaves a 3rd down and 1. It was Gabriel Zuniga getting into the backfield quickly, and Pete was able to make him miss, but that gave the Renegade defense enough time to get on him and limit him to a yard. Quick snap, and Siri now just has to fall on it. So trouble on the exchange, and the Rustlers miss out on a good opportunity on a 3rd and short to continue the drive. Instead, they lose 4 yards back to the 40, and they'll have to kick it away. So there's a break for the Renegades. The defense holds, and they'll get the ball back. 9:29 and counting remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Rustlers leading at 31-7. Hackworth back deep for Bakersfield. Andrew Guzman will kick it away. High, booming kick for Guzman. Hackworth takes it back inside his 15-yard line. Back to his left, looking for a block, but he's dragged down after a gain of a couple on the return. He got out to the 16-yard line, but couldn't get away. Daniel Viramontes, the first to get there to bring down Hackworth. And Bakersfield will take over. Under 9 minutes to go in the third quarter with a long field in front of them as they'll work from their own 16.
First and 10 for the Renegades at the 15.
So Woods comes out with Jalen Hankins in the backfield. Hankins, 10 yards rushing in the first half. He and Norwood have combined for 26 yards on 9 carries. Hankins gets the call here. He's hit behind the line and driven back. It's going to be a loss on the play. Looked like Sagiao getting there quickly.
Loss of 2.
2-yard loss brings up a second down and 12. Three wide receivers to the right as the Renegades overload the near side. Woods looking back left, completes the pass out to the 25-yard line, finding Abbott. Abbott brought down about a yard shy of the first down. Well, they got a very good spot out to the 26, so they give Abbott 12, and that moves the chains. Another good throw from Woods. And flags come in before the snap. It's a false start. And again, the Renegades had a false start penalty on the very first play from scrimmage here today. And since then, procedurally, they've been pretty good. And we're not far from the offensive coaching staff up here in the booth. And they are mystified as to the call there, and certainly not in agreement. But the Renegades have, again, outside of that first series, have played pretty well and played pretty clean. Not a lot of mistakes. This score here today has been much more about the Rustlers and their level of play and the way that they have brought it in all phases of the game. Any more so than the Renegades doing anything like continually shooting themselves in the foot. That has not been the case. As D'Amato makes the catch, it brings up a second down and about 10 as they get back to the original line of scrimmage. Snap to Woods. 3-man rush. Hit as he throws. That one hangs in the air. That one is picked off. Omar going to have his second touchdown of the day. Well, there's an announcer jinx. Although, again, as we will see the replay here, it looked like Diasas getting in the backfield. And rather than a true misfire from Woods, it could be argued that that was against, once again, the pressure brought by the Rustler defense, and Diasas getting the hit as Woods went to make the throw. That ball hung in the air. Omar closed quickly, and how about week 1 for Kentrell Omar, who now has 2 touchdowns to his credit as he gets the pick 6. Othman's extra point is up and good. Well, the Renegades have just 2 turnovers here today, but they have been absolutely disastrous, leading directly to 14 points. The Rustlers lead at 38-7. You're watching Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Look at a couple angles on the replay of the pick six. The Rustler defense coming up with another big play. And with 6:48 remaining in the third quarter, the Rustler lead is back to 31. As Kentrell Omar picks off the pass from Carson Woods and takes it to the house. Hackworth and Teague. Leach and Teague back deep. For Bakersfield. Othman has it teed up. Leach from the 5. Now to the 25. And spun down at the 33, a 28-yard return. 6:43 remaining in the third quarter. Well, you talk about the necessity to attack a great defense or take some chances. Easy to say, but perhaps a look there at some of the danger of doing that is the straight drop for Woods on third down, and the pressure comes from that Golden West defensive line. Diasis getting there, and the hit leads to the turnover. Norwood on the carry gains perhaps a yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Clock moving as Woods comes to the line with receivers left and right. 4-man rush for the Rustlers. The throw over the middle, completed to Leach in a crowd. Leach makes the catch for the first down out to the 46, and Dalen Leach is having an exceptional first game of the season. Now 7 catches as Woods finds him over the middle for a gain of 11. Another first down for Bakersfield out to the 46. Play action. All kinds of time. Woods going deep, and the pass picked off. Marquise Brown back in coverage, and he makes the pick as they were looking for Kevin Harris on a flag pattern toward that near sideline, and Brown showing great athleticism backing up on that ball. Meanwhile, there is a flag down. And let's see what the call is right now. Like Woods is still on the field. So this one going against Golden West, it's going to erase the interception by Brown. So that is a big call. That was a great job by Bakersfield with the play action, great protection, and it looked for just a moment as though Woods had a man open, but Brown able to close. Quarterback keeper. Woods for a gain of about 3. Will bring up a 2nd down and short as Hankins returns. So the 5-yard penalty against Golden West moves the Renegades 5 yards, but much more importantly, erases the interception by Marquise Brown. I'm going to quickly correct. I believe that was Dominique D'Amato on the carry on the direct snap to Amato for a gain of 3. So credit to Amato, 2nd and 2. Woods, pressure coming from the blind side, and he's brought down. Wyatt Potter on the blitz, off the edge, and he came in clean. Nobody picks up Potter, and not much chance for Woods. Just the 2nd sack here today for Golden West.
4-yard loss on the sack.
But no question, the biggest play by the defensive line wasn't a sack, or in that case Potter coming out of the backfield for the sack, but was the hit by Diasis that led to the interception. Nonetheless, the Renegades have done a pretty good job protecting Woods, who's been able to get the ball out quickly. Hankins trying to push the pile. He's near the first down marker and appears to have it with great second effort. Battling against Nick Mendez. And Hankins shows good hard running, pushing Mendez back for a couple of yards. And that's enough to move the chains. He gets 6 yards on a 3rd and 5. Mendez, the third linebacker for Golden West, along with Koffel and Palomino, the returning sophomores. But Mendez, very impressive to Nick Mitchell. Another sack. Here is Gerbich combines with Braden Bailey. A loss of 5 brings up a 2nd and 15, and now the Rustlers starting to ratchet up the pressure on Carson Woods. Couple of sacks on this drive. But Mendez, fast, athletic outside linebacker, and the speed is what primarily impressed during the workouts leading up to game 1. And Mendez, they feel, will be extremely effective as a linebacker in coverage with that great speed. Might be a free play coming for Woods, who pop flies the far side, has a man, incomplete. Boy, he had a man wide open. The offsides call is going to go against Golden West. So, indeed, they will pick up 5 yards, but what might have been, if you're Bakersfield, is Xavier Marshall was wide open on the far side, but couldn't bring in the pass from Woods. And that was a heady play from Woods, who knew that he had a free play coming and went deep looking for Marshall. Might have been a blown assignment because Marshall was in the clear but couldn't make the catch. So they'll settle for a 2nd and 10 as the 5-yard penalty moves it back to the original line of scrimmage. High snap again. Hankins sweeping to the far side. Stood up after a gain of about 3. Brown again with a big hit. A late flag comes in. They'll give Hankins maybe a couple. And it's a 3rd and 8, but we will await a resolution on the flag. It looked like Hankins had a head of steam, but Marquise Brown came up and delivered a big hit, standing up Hankins, but a personal foul call, a face mask against Golden West, 15 yards tacked on. So instead of 3rd and long, the Renegades pick up 15 big yards and a 1st down. So the Rustlers hurting themselves with some penalties on this drive. They move it to the Golden West 33, under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Smith in motion. They screen it out to Smith. Smith able to break 1 tackle, but not the 2nd wave. Finally finished off by Brogan Diasis. Gain of 3 yards for Smith. Yeah, let me correct that. They spotted at the 34, so a loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11, and not just today, but you seldom see a pass out into the flat that really is able to do much against Golden West. So much speed from sideline to sideline. Diaz quickly on Hankins, who gets back to the line, and just like that, it's 3rd and very long for the Renegades. They're 2 of 9 on 3rd down, and this is a 3rd and 12. From the Golden West 30. And again, on a at least breezy afternoon with the wind working into the face of Bakersfield as they work it from left to right. Again, this would appear to be 4 downs. Woods completes to Hankins. Run out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Nick Mendez with the hit on Hankins out to the 19-yard line. That's a gain of 11. And that will leave a 4th and 1 for Bakersfield, and the offense going to remain on the field. Hankins remains in the game. They will go I formation backfield as Woods under center. Down to 3 on the play clock. And now down to 1, and whistles come in. Bakersfield going to take a timeout, perhaps trying to draw the Rustlers off sides, but not happening. And it leaves a 4th and 1 at the 19-yard line of Golden West. When we return, late in the third, Golden West on top of Bakersfield 38-7 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fourth and 1. And the Renegades will go for it. 0 of 1 on 4th down in the game. And they go to Hankins, running left. Hankins falling forward, has the first down to the 16-yard line. So a 3-yard run on 4th down. And a 4th down conversion for Bakersfield. Actually, their second 4th down conversion here today. So the Renegades eschew the field goal attempt and keep the drive alive. They have a 1st and 10 at the Golden West 16. Down to 22 seconds and counting remaining in the third. They'll stay in the I formation and go back to Hankins over his left guard. Bailey swallows him up. Might have gotten back to the line. That'll bring up a 2nd down, and the Renegades, in all likelihood, not going to run another play. They will let the third quarter come to a close. We're through 3. The Rustlers on top 38-7. It's Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second and 9 from the Golden West 15 to start the fourth quarter. Again, they try Hankins running left. Hit and brought down. Minimal gain on the play. It appeared ever so briefly as if Hankins might have a little room, and then quickly brought down by Kane Elroy and Harrison Koffel. a loss of a couple on the play, and it's 3rd down and 11. And Woods will spread it out with 3 wide receivers. Hankins to his left. Blitz coming, good protection. The throw off the hands of Leach, incomplete. Very unlikely that Leach was going to be able to be anywhere close to a first down. Nonetheless, the rarest of drops for Dalen Leach, who has 7 catches in the game. That brings up 4th down. And now the Renegades will attempt the field goal. And they'll bring on Braden Ornelas to attempt this kick from 33 yards out. It'll come from the left hash. Snap, placement down, kick away from Ornelas. And it's good. So the Renegades with the field goal. And the score now 38-10 in favor of Golden West. Let's take a quick break, come back. You're watching Rustler Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Early 4th quarter, and the Rustlers well on their way to a season-opening win. They lead at 38-10. Golden West coming up will take to the road for a couple of weeks before coming back week 4 to resume their home schedule. We'll go over more of the schedule coming up here on SoCal College Sports shortly. Crandall with a good return around the edge on the right side and out past the 40-yard line to the 42. So Tanner Crandall with the lengthy return and good field position for Golden West. Well, we saw Siri. Is it going to be back to Richardson? Let's see what Golden West has in mind. Offensive coordinator John Shipp. And as good as the Rustler defense has been, and had a lot of opportunity to talk about how good they've been as they seemingly always are. It's been a great performance for this Rustler offense in week 1. 24 points on the board, and all 3 quarterbacks have been effective moving the football. Richardson on at quarterback. Good hole up the middle for Lybeer, who's got the first down and more. What a great push. Led by right tackle Evan Cooper. But that was a good hole up the middle for Lybeer. Lybeer, an interesting case. Saw a lot of action first half of the season a year ago with Jared Johnson, the sophomore running back, injured. And Lybeer filled in admirably. Really is the #1 back for this team in the first half of the season. Another good hole on that left side, and Lybeer picks his way forward for a gain of about 7. Down goes an official, meanwhile, but they'll help him up after a 7-yard run by Lybeer. Brings up a 2nd down and 3, and now they'll quickly check things out. Looked like that was the umpire, Joe Lloyd. Such a dangerous spot for the umpire right in the middle there. And Joe couldn't quite get himself out of the way. Nonetheless, 7 yards for Lybeer. And it's 2nd and short for Richardson and the Rustlers. Receivers left and right. Here's the snap. 3-man rush. Richardson steps up, completes the pass over the middle for a first down. Hampton with the catch. Braden Heath with the stop. Excuse me, I believe it was Miles Poole. Eventually with the tackle on Hampton, but Richardson with the completion moves the chains once again. And the Rustlers quickly to the Bakersfield 22 where they have it 1st and 10. Pistol formation. Snap to Richardson. Here comes the blitz, under pressure, sets up the screen. Liebeer with running room. He's inside the 10, down to the 5, and brought down at the 4. Boy, that is well designed. As Liebeer coming out of the backfield. They set up the screen, an 18-yard pickup. And now the Rustlers at the doorstep. They have it 1st and goal at the Bakersfield 4. Well executed, Richardson finding Liebeer. Here's the snap, Liebeer running right, lowers the shoulder, still churning the legs. Down to about the 1. Might spot it at the 2. That'll bring up a 2nd down and goal. Quick changes on that defensive line with Macon and Hugo Camacho coming on. The Rustlers starting to wear down this Renegade defense. They fake the pitch, throw out into the flat for the touchdown. Richardson finds Jake Troxell. And the tight end brings it in for a 2-yard touchdown reception. Another impressive drive for Luther Richardson. And he has seen a short stint today, but has been very effective. Led a touchdown drive in the first half. Richardson finished it himself with a 1-yard touchdown run. This time goes through the air, finding Troxell on the designed rollout. Extra point is good, 45-10. Well, the decision's not getting any easier for Nick Mitchell, John Shipp on that Golden West sideline with these 3 quarterbacks. Each one, it would seem, taking turns, impressing here in week 1. Golden West leads at 45-10 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Hankins and Teague back deep. And now Richardson, Siri, and Awad each with a touchdown pass. As Richardson finds Troxell. High end over end kick. It's Hankins at the goal line. Out to the 15. And the ball's out. Inside the 20. There's a scrum for it. No signal yet. They continue to unpile. Hankins hit it about the 15 and coughed it up. They're still trying to get down there and see who's got it. And it looks like the Renegades were able to keep it, so Hankins gets it back. So the Renegade offense will come on inside their own 20-yard line, 11-21 remaining in the ball game. Golden West back out to a 45-10 lead. After the scoring drive moments ago. And again, outside of maybe that first series or two, the Rustlers have been incredibly consistent and efficient offensively. Whether it's Awad or Siri or Richardson at quarterback, whether it's Pete or Libier or Akichi in the backfield. And certainly, no matter who seems to be on the outside catching passes. They'll keep it on the ground on first down. Inside handoff and a gain of about 5. Back to Jeremiah Teague, who gets the call. We do have a Renegade player down with a 2nd and 5 coming up. And that's Thomas Lett, incoming left tackle for Bakersfield. And Thomas Lett has already played a couple of years, but able to come back. So he has been in the program for a few years now, but was able to get himself one more season due to missing some time with an injury, and he will hobble off, but is up and moving on his own power. So Joseph Campbell is on at quarterback, replacing Carson Woods. Teague remains in the backfield. 2nd down and 6 from the 23. Campbell fakes and throws and completes out past the 25 to the 27. Cota with the reception brings up a 3rd down and 2. And this is one where if you're Bakersfield, love to continue the drive, just to give the defense a little bit of a blow. They looked as though they were starting to wear down somewhat. Temperature has picked up here as the game has gone on. It was approaching cool at kickoff, down at 72 degrees, but sun is out, and it's a little bit warmer now. 3rd down and 2, flags before the snap. And this is going to be a delay of game, and 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7. And that is an entirely different situation if you're Bakersfield, and even with this score from this position in the field, they're going to have to pick it up here. Otherwise, it's going to be a quick 3 and out. So Campbell, who so far is just 2 of 2, through the air for 4 yards. Rolling left, throwing, and that one's intercepted. He was looking for Abbott. It's Potter with the interception, still on his feet, down to the 10-yard line. Wyatt Potter, the sophomore, dropping back into zone coverage, and Campbell under pressure as he went to throw. And Potter with the interception, and the good return has Golden West at the doorstep once again. Another Renegade player is down. So that's the 2nd interception in the game for Golden West. Omar with the big interception in the 3rd quarter. And now Potter, again, with a little help from that front 4, getting some pressure on the quarterback. And Potter with the pick. And the Rustlers opportunistic defensively and nearly doing the work themselves again as Potter got it all the way down to the 9. Awad returns the quarterback with Jay-Sean Pete in the backfield. They go to Pete on the left side, stood up after a gain of about 2. Bowers able to wrap him up. Excuse me, it's Akechi in the backfield. So Ralph Akechi, again the transfer from Compton College. It's a 2nd and goal as Awad works from the pistol formation, receivers left and right. Back to Akichi. Running right, stiff arms a man. Takes a big hit, but he's still on his feet, churning his legs down inside the 5. That's a terrific individual effort from Ralph Akichi on a play that was well diagnosed. That looked like it was going nowhere. And Akichi turned it in to a solid gain. The 5-yard run leaves a 3rd and goal from the 2. Golden West will go a little bit bigger up front. 2 tight ends. And they go to Akichi. Will jump stop in the backfield. That is enough to disrupt the play, and he is brought down short of the goal line. Good penetration, and Tyrone Wilson Jr. eventually wraps up Akichi. A loss of a yard on the play brings up a 4th down and goal, and the Rustlers are going to go for the field goal as we wind under 8 minutes to go. So a good stand by the Renegade defense inside the 10 after the Potter interception. They hold and keep the Rustlers out of the end zone. And Othman will come on to try this 20-yard field goal from the right hash. Here's the snap placement down, and it's up and good. Othman with the field goal. 7:36 remaining in the ball game. Golden West with a 48-10 lead. You are watching Rustler football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. .10. And this one fair caught inside the 10. So rather than try for the return, which almost led to disaster moments ago, Leach makes the fair catch, and the Renegades will start from the 25 with 7:36 remaining. Third and 1. Some minor audio difficulties, and appreciate your patience. Back with you Renegades with the ball at their own 34. Campbell with a move in the backfield, tries to lower the shoulder, and he is stood up and driven back. What a great hit from Amir Alamin. But Campbell did get just enough forward momentum to get to the 36. Gain of about 1.5 yards when he needed a yard. Moves the chains. And the Renegades with a fresh set of downs looking ahead for the Rustlers next week. They are at Riverside to take on the Tigers. And 2 weeks from today, the Renegades, or I should say, wide open Marshall with the catch inside the 20. He is going to walk it in for a Renegade touchdown. 64 yards. Campbell to Marshall. Well, you go back to a play earlier with Carson Woods on an offsides call against Golden West. There was a free play, and it was Marshall on the far side in the third quarter, and he was open. And you wondered at the time if maybe there was a blown coverage or missed assignment for Golden West with Marshall that open. And that almost undoubtedly has to be the case on that play, as Marshall was 20 yards clear of anybody. And a great job by Campbell to find Marshall. And he's got an easy jaunt into the end zone after making the catch. The extra point is no good. Wide left, so it's 48-16. Let's keep it here with 5:32 remaining. Don't know if we had the replay on that, but Campbell finds Marshall, and it's going to be something to work on, something to look at. For Golden West, certainly, as they look ahead, because Marshall was absolutely in the clear. And Campbell made the good throw, and Marshall secured it and took it in, a 64-yard touchdown. And the Renegades have themselves a decided highlight in this Week 1 contest that is assuredly going to go down as a loss, but still, if you're a Renegade fan, maybe some good things to take from this. This was a very tough assignment, and again, I think you have to be impressed with Carson Woods, the poise that he showed here today against a formidable defense. And Campbell, a nice security blanket to have if you're Bakersfield, a sophomore quarterback with a good deal of playing experience there as well at that position, and he makes a big play finding Marshall to make it 48-16. And arguably, the Renegades this year more effective offensively in this matchup with Golden West than they were a year ago against the Rustlers, even though the scoreboard is going to tell a little different story. This one, a much wider margin, but the Renegades, I think looking at the numbers, certainly more effective offensively moving the ball against a Golden West defense that does not give up a lot of yards or points. This was a Rustler defense that a year ago allowed a touchdown or less in 5 games on the season. So for them to go in and put essentially a shutout on a team or nearly that is not uncommon at all. After the return, 5:27 remaining. The penalty assessed against Golden West, and they will start from their own 12-yard line. After the big play, Campbell finding Marshall for a Renegade touchdown makes it 48-16. So on the road the next 2 weeks. At Riverside, that's a noon start a week from today. And then 2 weeks, it's a trip down south to take on San Diego Mesa. And a very difficult San Diego Mesa team. That is a tough place to go and win. So it's a tough schedule here in the early season for Golden West and the Rustlers, who have been close the last couple of years. Challenging themselves early, and this is a team that comes in number 6 in the preseason poll, 4th in the South, and that just speaks to how tough it is in the South. You've got Riverside, certainly. You've got Mount San Antonio College. You've got Fullerton, just to start with. Certainly, we'll see Ventura later tonight at Saddleback. The Pirates, always a factor as well. So it's a very, very tough and deep SCFA. And it just starts there with those teams. But that's where the Rustlers' thoughts are right now. They want to get to the top of that mountain and make it to a 3C2A championship. They've been close but haven't gotten there just yet. In some trouble in the backfield. On the run, Awad is finally brought down. Sacked back near his 10-yard line. And it'll bring up 4th down. So good job by the Renegade defense again, as Jaden Hollis eventually got there for the sack on Awad. And we'll see the Rustler punting unit. Next time the Rustlers are at home, that'll be week 4. And we'll be back here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. That'll be on September 23rd, where they'll take on East Los Angeles College. That's a rematch of last year's Patriotic Bowl. A win for the Rustlers against East Los Angeles College. We'll keep it here as they get ready to kick it away. They'll finish off the month with a home matchup with Citrus. That's on September 30th. And, of course, again, we will have that for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. As you're watching Rustler football, 3:31 remaining in this one, 48-16. The Rustlers on their way to an opening week. Let's come back to Huntington Beach. You're watching Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Punting unit on. Here's the snap and the kick away. Short kick from Guzman. Taken by Hackworth at the 45 of Golden West. And 3:23 remaining. And an opportunity perhaps for the Renegades to tighten things up somewhat. Are going to go through here and see if we can give you the update on the Renegades. They'll be back in action next week, of course, as well. Campbell looking left, throws, and the catch is made by Abbott. Alameen had the coverage, and they're going to say that Abbott did not make the catch? Well, it looked to me like he had it, but so far no movement. Well, no, they have spotted the ball at the 37, so they are going to give Abbott credit for the catch, working against Alameen. An 8-yard pickup brings up a 2nd down and 2. Clock winds down to 3 minutes to go. Campbell brings the Gades to the line. And trying to reverse field, no chance. That was Ian Jernigan on the carry. And quickly into the backfield, Ryan Risk. And Risk able to bring down Jernigan for a loss of 4. Jernigan, another player mentioned by our Todd Littlejohn in our conversation. He's a bounce back from San Jose State. And provides a little different dynamic than Hankins or Norwood. A little bit bigger, more physical runner in there. He went away from that, trying to reverse field, and Risk was there quickly to bring him down for a 4-yard loss. It's a 3rd and 6. Throw over the middle. Catch is made in traffic for a 1st down to the 30-yard line. Marshall with another reception. The 11-yard gain gives the Renegades a 1st down. Gerbich with the tackle downfield. But Marshall moves the chains, and we've seen Dalen Leach have a big day, but Marshall has really stepped up as well. Another weapon for the Renegades. A couple of big catches and the big touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Jernigan, there's the physical running. for about 3 yards. So Jernigan with the big collision. Davis Thacker was able to bring him down, but not before Jernigan lowered the shoulder on Thacker. 2nd down and 7. Play action. Campbell on the design roll. Dumps it short. Has a completion. 1st down and more. Down to the 15-yard line. Back to Arturo Terrazas. And Terrazas into the red zone. 1st and 10 for Bakersfield. Under a minute to go. They'll spot it at the 16. Bakersfield opens up their home schedule next week. That'll be against Long Beach. The pass on the right side incomplete. That stops the clock with 35 seconds remaining in the ball game. So the Renegades will try to get themselves going next week, but another tough assignment as the Vikings will make the trip up to take on the Renegades in their home opener. Reminder tonight, a couple of games for you on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We're going to be in Mission Viejo. Ventura traveling down to take on the Bobcats. Ventura at Saddleback at 6. Campbell has some time. Pop flies the near side. Jump ball at the back of the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown. Renegades going back to Marshall. Couple of touchdown catches in the 4th quarter for Xavier Marshall. And watch Marshall go up, get the ball. The feet are down. That is a sensational effort. Most notably by Marshall, but not a bad job on camera either. Pretty good job, guys. As Marshall wins the battle for the football, and what a 4th quarter he has had. With a couple of touchdown catches and with 26 seconds remaining. The extra point this time is good. And the Renegades going to tighten it up somewhat on the scoreboard. It's now 48-23. And it's hard to take a lot of good away from what will probably go down as a 25-point loss. But, again, it's worth making the point. I think there's some highlights and some things to feel good about if you're a Renegade fan. This is a team that we see quite a bit here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, and it is not easy to put points on the board. And the Renegades have done that. But the reality was today, it was a lot about the Rustler offense. They were highly efficient on the ground and in the air, moving the football. Throwing a couple of big plays from the Rustler defense. And you've got 48 points on the board. And the Rustlers 26 seconds away from moving to 1-0. And then it's time to get ready for Riverside City College. The Tigers have been in the 3C2A championship the last couple of years. Come in as the top-ranked team in the South, and as is the case seemingly every year, at least to start the year, they are the team to beat. So that will be a fascinating matchup, and we will keep an eye on the result of that one. It's going to be about as good a litmus test as you can get if you're Nick Mitchell and that Rustler coaching staff for where this team is, and are they ready to challenge for that SCFA championship and make their way to the 3C2A title game. 19 seconds remaining. Rustlers just have to play this one out. One other reminder, we do have another game. Talked about Saddleback and Ventura. Also Actually, I want to double check that. Meanwhile, the kneel down, and the Rustlers going to walk off with a 48-23 win here in Week 1. They move to 1-0. The Renegades fall to 0-1 again. Golden West on the road next week at Riverside. And meanwhile, Bakersfield will return home. They will start their home schedule against Long Beach City College a week from today. Later on tonight, one game. I want to make sure I'm clear about that. Saddleback at home against Ventura here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We hope you will join us for part or all of that. Hope to see you then. From Huntington Beach, for everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks for joining us. So long, everybody.